Hey, howdy ho, everybody. This is Postmortem Nightshade, and I am so happy to be here talking about movies with y'all on this beautiful day. Sorry, I'll try to keep the bee puns to a minimum, but today we're talking about The Rivals of Amziah King. Directed by Andrew Patterson, this film stars Matthew McConaughey, Angelina Lookingglass, and Kurt Russell. Now, I hadn't seen a trailer for this film, and I actually didn't see any other marketing for it either. I simply saw it was coming out this weekend and bought my ticket. So I went into this one about as blind as you can. This is what I would call an agricultural bee crime thriller that is also half musical. And if you're thinking that is a wild movie description, you wouldn't be, sorry, keeping them to a minimum, wrong. This is one of the wildest and most unique movies I've seen as far as plot is concerned. Agricultural crime wasn't something I'd ever thought to make a movie about, but, I could use a few more movies in this niche genre. As far as this film's execution, it is all over the place and a very mixed bag for me. This movie runs at 2 hours and 10 minutes, but I genuinely was convinced I had been in the theater for 3.5 hours by the time I left. There were so many moments where I was thinking, oh, cool, we must be approaching the end of this film. And then, nope, it would keep going and going and going and going and going until I was like, holy cannoli, when is this movie gonna end? The story is sort of all over the place, and while it does have a flow to it, there are some elements that I think could have been cut out completely that would have helped the pacing and cohesion of the story. That being said, the pacing of this film is extremely slow, and this is not helped by the filming techniques used for this film. There are a lot of long holds on shots in various scenes and also a ton, and I mean a ton of freeze frames. This high school musical technique is something I haven't seen used in this type of Oscar bait film, let alone used as many times as it is in this movie. One of the central characters of the story, the character played by Angelina Lookingglass, goes through a truly insane story arc. There are so many moments where I'm not sure if the writers actually want us to be rooting for her character or not, even though she is the main protagonist, if you will. There are also some elements with Kurt Russell's character that felt muddied and confusing, as if the writers weren't sure what they were trying to say with him either. If you've seen this film, let me know your thoughts on the character arcs in the comments, because I'm still not really sure how I feel about them. I also found Angelina Lookingglass's performance to be uneven. There were so many scenes where she did a great job selling the character, and I was fully brought into the story with her, and then there were other scenes where it just felt like she wasn't reacting at all to what was going on, and then that took me out of the story. I did really, really like the musical sequences in this film. I thought music was a well used tool to convey deeper meaning about the characters and the community in this story. I also liked the aesthetics and vibes of this movie. The world felt really real and lived in, and I thought the folks that did the costuming and production design really did a phenomenal job. While this was an interesting film, I did find my overall experience watching it to be uneven, so for that reason, on my scale, this film sits in the Hey Heidi okay category. But let me know in the comments your thoughts on The Rivals of Amziah King. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in, and if you'd like to follow along on my movie review journey, please like and subscribe, and I will see y'all very soon.